In Armenian, one of the words used for worship is yergeerbakoutyoun. Repeated often in the Divine Liturgy, the word means literally kissing the ground. It says a lot about the Armenian understanding of what we do in church. The Armenian Church, like all the ancient Christian churches, worship not only in words, but also in gestures and rituals that express beyond words what we believe about God and our relationship with Him. Words and thoughts alone cannot express all that we believe. The entire body and all the senses are involved. Offering incense, standing, raising our arms, bowing down, kneeling, venerating the Holy Cross and the Gospel book, moving in processions, elevating symbols of our faith, singing. These are the active ways in which we proclaim our faith. Another word that all of the ancient churches use for worship is liturgy, pashtamung, a word that in Armenian and Greek implies effort. The same Greek root is found in the word energy. Worship in the Armenian Church is liturgical. It involves effort and energy by the faithful. Though the pews, curtain, and elevated altar might make the Divine Liturgy appear as a performance for an audience to sit and watch, it is not at all a show. In the Armenian Church, all the people officiate, celebrating their salvation by Jesus Christ in the church. What is the aim of our worshiping? The salvation that we celebrate is a new and never-ending condition where people may live in everlasting, joyous communion with their Creator. The New Testament tells how God entered human history and revealed Himself in the world physically in the person of His Son, Jesus Christ. His birth as a human being and His death and resurrection have brought about this climax in humanity's relationship with God. God accomplished all of this out of His great love for His creatures, and He only desires that we accept it, that we recognize who He is and what He has done for us. This is the aim of worshiping, to proclaim and celebrate in words and rituals the new life God the Father has given us by His Son, Jesus Christ, in the church. Consequently, our worship is corporate. It is an undertaking of the church, the community of people who have been blessed with God's promises. Although private devotion also has an important place in the Christian's life in the Bible, Christian's faith is based on a community of people. The first thing Christ did when He began His ministry was to gather a community of followers around Him. The major theme of the Divine Liturgy, the Church's main worship service, is the communion of the faithful of the Church with each other and with Jesus Christ in Holy Communion. This is why our worship services so often repeat, "Let us commit ourselves and one another to the Lord our God," and most of our prayers use "we." Furthermore, our worship belongs to the entire church. Divine Liturgy is not just people saying their own private prayers in the same place at the same time. Worship means a community together in heart, soul, and mind, praying to God with one accord, with one mouth, with one word, as the prayers of the Divine Liturgy say. So the progression of the liturgy should be known by all, not just the priest, choir director, and deacons. In the Armenian Church, we do not make the service up as we go along or substantially change it from week to week. This is so that we can pray together. Moreover, our worship is commemoration. If worship consists of proclaiming who God is and what He has done for us, then we must recall the biblical history of our salvation event by event. Already in the Old Testament, the Jewish people worshiped this way, by recalling all of the events in their history for which God was the inspiration. For the Church, every service, and particularly the Divine Liturgy, is a celebration where the Church remembers its salvation. The word remember is used frequently in the Divine Liturgy. This was accomplished in the life of Jesus Christ, that is, in His incarnation, birth as a human being, in His baptism, ascension to heaven, where He reigns with God the Father. This commemoration also includes events that have not happened yet, like Christ's second coming at the end of time, the last judgment, and the fulfillment of all of God's promises. So Christian worship is a commemoration of past, present, and future, the entire history of the relationship between God and His people. Dear listeners, in order to meaningfully participate in the Divine Liturgy, please make commitment. Go to church every Sunday, learn a Patarak, read the Bible, prepare yourself spiritually, receive Christ in Holy Communion at every Divine Liturgy if possible, so we may remain in the communion with God and receive His blessings and have eternal life. And please, if this report was useful to you, share this video with your friends, like it, and share your comments. God bless you, and have a blessed rest of the day.